Hello my darlings, it's your fairy godmother Mint, and welcome back to the Mint Coven. I wanted to take you guys on a nature walk with me today because I know we don't always have time to get out into nature, but since I am lucky enough to be able to experience this very often, I wanted to share it with you, and I do happen to find something very magical. It was at this point that I stumbled upon something magical. I spotted a tiny pair of footprints on a leaf, and when I looked up, I saw this. You know when you find something so mysterious and so intriguing that you can't help but get closer? When I saw this area, it felt different. You know what I mean? It just had a very rich sort of feeling. As soon as I saw this area, it reminded me of one of my favorite quotes. There are places in our world where it seems that wondrous and whimsical things seem more capable of happening than anywhere else. You can recognize them because they are thick with an atmosphere that seems out of time and place with the rest of reality. I spotted a tiny figure dancing about in the trees, and so I stood here for a while to watch. I could see tiny creatures bouncing around on logs and rocks, and so I just stood there and tried to film as much as I could. The tiny twitters that you hear are golden-crowned kinglets, and they are a huge omen of magic. As soon as I heard them, I knew I was in a sacred space. Forgot I had this filter on. I was just walking by this area, and you know when you just feel something something, like a change in the air. It was so prominent, and I just looked up and I felt compelled to come into this little spot. Something that I realized as I was standing here looking around is that in a previous video I had been on the other side of this area, and I had noticed a ward, and it was on the transferring the tree spirit video where I noticed that there was a ward right past a couple of trees, and it was like kind of pushing me back and giving me like, you don't want to come over here. Psh, you didn't even notice this area. It's a wall, you know. And I'm on the other side of that now. I was just like walking on the other side of the road, and I saw a leaf with angry feet prints. Looks like footprints burned into the leaf. I saw that and I was like, oh, someone was angry here. Because it looks like, you know, two feet standing next to each other and they burned a hole in the leaf. And I looked up from there and just noticed this area that was just positively singing. Really reminds me of when I was a kid, or not a kid, but you know, like a teenager, like 13 or 14, and I used to skip school, which is bad. No, don't skip school, kids. But I used to skip school to read in the forest because I was a very romantic child, and I used to find areas like this, and I would never retain any of the information that I was reading from books because I would just be staring at everything in the forest. Definitely want to go through here. Don't want to disturb anyone. It's tight. That's what she said. Just kidding. Oh my god, gross. Remember that a lot of creatures play by the rules of if you stay still, no one can see you. So you'll see a tiny bit of movement and you'll be able to make out the form, and then you won't. You know, and then you'll see just a leaf or a rock or a branch, and you're like, come on, I know I saw a little man with a hat on. If you stay still, no one will be able to see you. If you pause, if you freeze, you're invisible. And then you can just kind of mold into a mushroom. Rocks like this with a great deal of shape. See how it looks so carved. These lines and all of these really interesting angles and stuff. These always have some significance. To you, it's just like a really interesting looking mossy rock, but it can be a sacred place. I keep forgetting about this chipmunk filter, but I can't turn it off now because I've got the color for the video. It's the color it is. Think about the way that humans mark sacred spaces with, like tombstones or with carved rocks or something like that. That's something that we have in common with other creatures, marking an important spot with something that makes it look important, giving it a sign or a symbol or a monument, so to speak. Oh my god. Oh, I'm so embarrassingly emotional right now. There were, I don't even know how many there were, probably like 4 or 5, and they were just kind of alighting on the branches around me in a circle, just like getting so close to me. I wish that I was better with my camera to have been able to capture that, because it was absolutely enchanting. Like 10 out of 10 magical experience. Just so cool. Thank you so much for joining me on this little magical walk. It's something that I really look forward to every morning, and I hope that this can help you to chill if you just need a moment to chill. And yeah, I hope you all have the most magical evening possible, and I'll see you in the next video. Mwah.